One of the things that Jennifer Garvey Berger and I have been working with, playing around with, is to try and come up with a way that people can support themselves to grow as leaders. And so we've developed some simple habits of mind. Now, in doing this work, we were trying to come up with something that was memorable. It had to be something that you didn't need a reference work for, you could carry it around here in your head. Secondly, it had to be simple for leaders to use. Leaders had to be able to, in the moment, in whatever situation they were in, to be able to kind of access these habits of mind and to put them into play. But the third thing was that it had to be transformational. Not necessarily in the moment, it had to be useful in the moment, but if you were able to use these habits of mind over time, not only would they have value for whatever situation or challenge you were facing, but also they would change the way that you were as a leader. They would change the way that you be. So that was the sort of criteria that we set ourselves. Memorable, simple, and transformational. So we have developed 3 habits of mind. Ask different questions is the first habit of mind. Now there's actually 2 parts to this. There's a sort of 1A, which is to start asking questions. And that's a really tricky thing for leaders to do. Leaders find it that they become successful by actually being able to come up with quick solutions, to be able to solve things, to be in control. And stepping back and actually asking more questions is really, in our experience, quite a stretch for leaders in practice. They think they're asking questions, but often they're really jumping in with a solution. And the solution, with a question mark on the end, have you thought of this? Have you tried that? Why don't you do X? That's not really a curious question. And then the second thing is actually to ask different questions. And part of the challenge in that is to open up your repertoire to the sorts of questions that other people might be asking, so you can open up to having a wider range of minds, even if they're all within your own head, but a wider range of thoughts and perspectives working on an issue. Now, I find that I, for example, am very much a kind of spatial person. So often the first questions I'm asking are about where something is located, or how does it link with other things, or how do people connect with other people. And I don't start by necessarily asking questions about assumptions, for example. So one of the things that's been a shift for me is to actually open up and ask more questions about what are the assumptions that I'm carrying here? What is it that's really catching me? What am I not seeing about the way I'm holding on to particular ideas? So ask different questions is the first habit of mind. The second habit of mind is to actually take multiple perspectives. Now, that's not just a matter of thinking about what's that person thinking so that I can move them effectively over to supporting my way of thinking about things. It's about really trying to get inside the way that other people might be thinking about an issue or a challenge, and to try and see it from their point of view, with them being positive, with them being a hero, with them being somebody working with good intentions. Which is different from me thinking, what's Trevor thinking? And I know that sneaky fellow, and I can see what's going on in his mind. I know what his game is. That's quite different from me actually trying to get into Teresa's mind in a way that says, if she's really trying to do good in this situation, or she's really trying to do something worthwhile, how is she looking at this situation? So taking multiple perspectives is significant, not just at an individual level, but also at the level of whole groups, at the level of organisational cultures, at the level of different cultural perspectives in a community. Our third habit of mind is to try and see the bigger system, to see more of the system. Now, that's obviously something that libraries of books have been written on in the last 30 to 40 to 50 years. And all sorts of effort has gone into trying to take more of a systems thinking approach, to try and sort of see more of the complexity of situations. what we're wanting is not an elaborate method to actually map the dynamics of the situation, but we're wanting some simple tools that leaders can use in the moment to open up their thinking on an issue. Not necessarily to analyze it in detail and get the whole answer, but to be able to get a bigger picture on the issue. So we're suggesting in that situation asking about what are the key relationships in this situation and what are the perspectives of the different players. To think about what happens when we change the boundaries of an issue. What happens when the boundaries get smaller? Or what happens when the boundaries are expanded and the issue is expanded and more people are, and more perspectives are included. So there's the 3 habits of mind.